Pro Wrestling Weekly. For over 20 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment radio talk.
Is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly,
the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
You really do sound like a
grizzled old vet. Is that where you were going with there?
Yes.
To not get you in trouble?
Oh, I'll get in trouble at some point. Believe me, I'll do something.
Well, to keep you out of trouble in this case, at least.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Ooh, I'm getting good at this radio thing.
Yeah. It only took you 5.5 years.
I'm not good at it yet. I'm starting.
Yeah.
Only slightly.
Slowest escalator upward.
Shut up!
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Mitch.
Hey, glad to be back.
Yeah, you had... I feel bad because I teased it last week and then never followed through on it, but you were actually gone celebrating your birthday.
Birthday,
Yeah.
indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, so happy belated birthday. As well, I didn't want to throw what day it was or anything of that nature, but I just said that you were I guess out. I don't remember what exactly I said. I barely remember what I had for breakfast today.
Yeah, actually, I went to New York for my birthday, so that was fun.
Oh, good. If this were like 20 years ago, I'd say, hey, you should check out WWF New York, but it's no longer there.
Oh.
It was a restaurant that they had in Times Square.
They did?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it was. That was when they were at the height of their popularity at the time in terms of mainstream. That they decided to go with a risky venture of having a restaurant like pretty much right across the street from that giant video board that they have up there in Times Square.
How long did it last?
About 3 years.
It's enough of
I think it closed down in 2002, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't that...
That was just after the invasion and the buyout of WCW, and that was when the monopoly kind of started. And because there wasn't really any competition, the popularity kind of waned because it was like, hey, WWE won the Monday Night War, and that's when there was this kind of slow, gradual decline in viewership that has continued to this day.
Wow, really?
Yeah, there used to be like 5-6 million people every Monday night watching Raw. Now it's down to like barely scraping 2 million.
I don't know. Something in my head told me it was going up a little.
Well, it's hovering. It's treading water at the moment, but it's treading water with a chain and a very heavy ball attached to the proverbial foot of WWE.
That's actually not a bad explanation.
Yeah, no, it is a struggle to say the least, and there was a ratings move that was done to, or at least to attempt to create a little bit of interest by getting things kind of switched around a little bit, and this had to do with the debut of a new idea from Vince McMahon following the surprise appearances this past Monday on Raw of SmackDown superstars Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and WWE champion Kofi Kingston, along with New Day mate Xavier Woods. So here's what we had from the ever so innovative Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
What if we had ourselves a wild card rule? I mean, we've had the superstar shakeup. That's tremendous. On top of that, what if I allowed 3 members of SmackDown to come to Raw on a given occasion? What if I invited 3 members of Raw to come to SmackDown? We would have ourselves a wild card rule. There's no telling what the hell would happen. I'm a genius.
Yes, so the the brilliant genius made such sense with the rule, in part from changing it a couple of times throughout the night, that WWE had to explain and officially define what the rule was on their website a little bit later in the evening, because there was that much confusion of the self-professed genius over there.
Oh, Vince McMahon.
Yeah, according to the website, quote, a limited number of superstars from Raw or SmackDown would be invited to cross brand lines for one-night-only appearances, with unauthorized jumps to be penalized by fines or even potential firing. Because, yeah, Vince loves to do that, too. It's two of his other favorite words, I guess, for lack of a better way of phrasing it. Yeah. He loves firing people. And, of course, it's not there when I need it. Doggone it. Oh, well.
This whole thing is embarrassing. It really is.
Yeah, there we go. That's a good substitute clip.
Yeah, it fits.
Yeah, I could have swore I had the "You're Fired" drop right there ready to... You'd think from all the times that I've used it on Twitch that it would just be right there, ready to go, but... Oh, of course, that's bloody where it is. I didn't have it in with the wrestling ones because I think I'd used it prior to that. But yes, that notwithstanding. So it goes on to say the number of crossover superstars was initially capped at 3. WWE Champion Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns started things off by appearing on Raw this Monday, though Lars Sullivan evidently persuaded the chairman to expand the limit to 4. End quote. Now, the issue is more that WWE's hand, at least according to various reports, is being forced by the networks, as neither Fox nor NBC Universal, which owns USA Network, wants their program to seem disadvantaged by having certain WWE superstars excluded from their network's program, whether it's Raw on USA or, starting this October, SmackDown on Fox. Because as we were discussing before, and we've talked about for quite a bit, Fox is giving WWE a number with a lot of zeros behind it over the course of the next 5 years to have SmackDown bring lots of ratings and viewers and advertisement dollars and everything else over to Fox. So they don't want to see anything potentially jeopardize that. But Vince McMahon, on the other hand, he really loves this whole brand split thing, as he has tried it a number of times over the course of the last 15, 16 years, where you've had the Raw brand versus the SmackDown brand, and they've had 2 separate titles, and then they've merged together for a little while, and then after a little while of that, they split back apart again, and then they got back together again, and it's been... Yeah, there was even a point where you had pay-per-views that were dedicated to Raw superstars versus SmackDown superstars, such as bragging rights. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you remember? Oh, yeah, we talked about bragging rights.
Yeah, we did.
I was like, I was surprised by the simultaneous shudder. Like I knew I was going to shudder. I did not know that you had recollected enough knowledge of it to understandably shudder as well. I'm good at this teaching thing.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Dare I say, I'm a genius. No, okay, maybe not. No, or maybe more accurately,
I'm brilliant.
Yeah, those were both actually taken from the clip. I just kind of cut it together and left some of that stuff out. But there were some gold lines from Vince McMahon. There was this other one, as initially Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston were arguing with one another.
Oh, hang on a second. I just had an epiphany.
And that was where the epiphany came for this wild card rule. But yeah, WWE does not want to end the brand split, so the wild card rule looks to be a compromise. So that way you can have big stars like Roman Reigns on either network, or if she decides to come back from her, as she referred to it, impregnation vacation, Ronda Rousey.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, that's the thing. Because she's been in heavy competition, not only with WWE, but Ultimate Fighting Championship before that, she is at an age where she at least she's trying to have a child. And because she has never had a child before, she may so enjoy the experience of motherhood that she may not want to come back to WWE. Because, being a mom and all that.
Yeah, of course.
Because, this is Mother's Day weekend. It's a great way to tie that in. I didn't even think about that until right now. Dare I say it was an epiphany.
I'm brilliant.
I knew you were going to drop that.
Yeah, I could have gone, I'm a genius, but...
You could have gone that.
Yeah, either one would have worked.
It's a good enough substitute.
Oh, absolutely. So, it's hard to say. I mean, at the initial first glance, hearing Vince McMahon attempt to explain it was a little cringeworthy, but I think, I don't know how much it's going to help, as the kind of focus of WWE has been promoting the brand over the course of the last 5 years or so. It's been more about promoting WWE than it has been the superstars themselves, which is why a lot of the focus has been on superstars of the past who, back when they were promoting individual superstars as opposed to the brand, you had a lot of brands within that brand. You had Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Kane. Yeah, I'm giving you the Attitude Era, basically. But I mean, that was when you had superstars of that level. Even to some degree, John Cena. He has been somebody who has been, to a degree, above the brand, and that has helped with marketability because people have kind of gotten tired of, I want to see WWE, almost like, the circus is in town. It's, I want to see this person, or I want to see that person. I mean, that if it wasn't for that, why would WWE have forked over, according to reports, anywhere from $2 to $3 million? Pinky to the forehead, or pinky to the corner of the mouth. Yep. Exactly. $2 to $3 million to Shawn Michaels to pull him out of retirement after 7.5 years and get him wrestling well into his 50s. Because they haven't really created superstars as much as they love using that term, WWE superstars. Who have they really created that has that nationwide, worldwide buzz? I mean, they want Roman Reigns to be that guy, but the WWE Universe doesn't really want Roman Reigns to be that guy. And the only reason he is even remotely close to being that guy was battling and beating leukemia. If not for that, WWE fans would still be more often than not booing Roman Reigns out of the building, at least in some of the bigger cities where you tend to have some of the more dedicated fan base, like your Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, even to a degree.
Yeah, sometimes you got to think, what would happen if that didn't happen?
It wouldn't be good.
I
can guarantee that much. No, we'll see how things go here. And before we take care of our first time out, because the show is just going that quickly already, one thing that I wanted to touch on last week that I didn't, it's a little bit of a crossover that could bring a little bit of rivalry and competition back here. We've been talking about AEW, All Elite Wrestling. Well, now there's a little bit of ticky-tack pot shots going back and forth. So we first saw it at the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony where Triple H and the rest of Degeneration X, they had a few fun things to say about AEW. One had Shawn Michaels making a joke about going all in, a reference to the initial pay-per-view event that was put together by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and whatnot back in September. And, before that, there was this here, as Triple H and crew were, they were crediting Vince McMahon, which is one of the big rules in the Hall of Fame speeches. You never thank Vince McMahon, because reasons. I don't know. Somebody that egomaniacal all of a sudden doesn't want to be recognized? I don't know. I guess because it's too emotional. I don't know. He's not being recognized as a boss, but being recognized as, somebody who cares about people. How dare they?
What?
Yeah, I know. That's ridiculous.
That's preposterous.
Exactly.
Absolutely
I'm
ludicrous.
Bristling at that. Yeah. But no, so in talking about Vince McMahon, even though they weren't supposed to, Triple H mentioned that Vince, in all of his ownership glory, would hire everybody just to fire them. And Billy Gunn, who now, even though he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, he is actually working for All Elite Wrestling. He pointed out that Vince can't fire me. He can't fire me because he works for another company.
Yeah, so there you
go. Triple H had this to say.
Let's be honest, he will buy that company just to fire you again. Whoa. I'm just saying.
Fire me twice.
Again.
Gosh.
Yes, that bleep ant company, just to fire him one more time. Well, I don't know. I don't know. The McMahon's billion and change versus the Khan family's billions that own the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know. Which company is the company that is of an ant variety? Well, that's pretty much what Cody Rhodes has said as in one of the latest Road to Double or Nothing videos, as Double or Nothing is just 2 weeks from tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Out in Las Vegas. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But Cody talked about his upcoming match with older brother Dustin Rhodes, formerly known as Goldust, and fired back at Triple H in the process.
What's accurate is that this match is generation versus generation. I am not here to kill Dustin Rhodes. I'm here to kill the Attitude Era. My entire lot, my whole class of peers, has been compared to these gilded late 90s through the early 2000s for over a decade, and it's an utter sham. Sure, you paved the roads for us, but gosh, you set the speed markers at 35 because you are terrified of any of us putting our foot down on the pedal. You mean to tell me some bodybuilder making every match a no DQ, meandering around the crowd, throwing the jib cam at his opponent compares with a Kenny Okada match? Or some bra and panties spectacular can match up with what the women did last September 1st? Or even Dwayne, as electric as it was, rhyming and raising, was it really better than what Punk said sitting on that stage?
Yeah, he even threw the pipe bomb promo, as it's so eloquently known, bringing reference to that as well. And the perplexed look means I'm gonna have as Ricky Ricardo said in the I Love Lucy show, I got some splaining to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as I don't think I'll be able to do so during the entire timeout because it's a pretty quick timeout, so that's definitely not going to happen. But I'll give the Cliff Notes version, and then we'll come back. We'll get to Ed from Northeast Philly on the other side with a look at the local scene. Also, we've got little pigskin talk to get into, as another thing from the self-professed genius that we'll get into. Also, a little bit of baseball talk in a dubious way. Ted will get a kick out of this one. I might have to show him the video of this, as it was certainly interesting to say the least. And also a former WWE wrestler who's going to be getting into the octagon a little bit later today. And we've got some more All Elite Wrestling to talk about, some politics as well, just to name a few, here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
Hi, this is Dr. Lee Piccarello, inviting you to tune in every Friday morning at 8 a.m. to The Head Game, a must-listen show for athletes and coaches of all levels and ages. Mindful Athlete Training in Newtown, Pennsylvania is a mental circuit training program that prepares the athletes to perform at the highest level of today's game. Athletes get into the zone faster and stay there longer. Tune in every Friday morning at 8 a.m. right here on WBCB 1490 AM and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com.
Join the fun with placing bets on your favorite sports. Bet at Parks Casino, South Philadelphia Racing Sportsbook, and Oaks Racing Sportsbook. All the best ways to bet. Spread, money line, totals, props, parlays, and teasers. Plus, use your mobile bet slip builder to see real-time sports odds from anywhere. Plan your bet in advance. Get in the action on basketball and hockey playoffs, baseball, plus golf and tennis majors, and much more. Bet with the best. Pennsylvania's #1 casino, Parks Casino, and the South Philadelphia and Oaks Racing Sportsbooks. Must be 21. Gambler number code 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Harvey from Bernie Robbins Jewelers. When you put one of our gift boxes in front of someone, magical things happen. Eyes light up. Big smiles appear. I mean, luxuriously crisp paper, iridescent copper ribbon, our orange monarch butterfly. Well, there doesn't even have to be anything in the box. Wait, what am I saying? I'm trying to sell jewelry here. Of course something has to be in it. But what? We'll help you with that. From an impromptu gesture to a milestone gift. At Bernie Robbins Jewelers, we've got your gift, and we've always got your back.
I just finished up work. I walk in, and then he goes, "How's it going? Can I get you something like a bleeping watch?"
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
And you said, "Oh, you took it well." I'm like, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
You can't win. What am I going to do, heckle? No. You see how that works out?
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you. Mitch.
Hey-ho.
Not really filling in for Twitch. It's more Twitch, well, he's got twofold things. He's dealing with some Mother's Day weekend things, particularly with his grandmother who has not been in the greatest of health. Hopefully I'm not breaking the fourth wall. Hey, Cole Cabana, how you doing? And, I gave him a little Cliff Notes version of the pipe bomb promo over the course of the break there so that he understood that.
Now I know.
Yeah, now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
Exactly. And, additionally with that, Twitch is, he's got his hands full tonight with Jimmy the Jester down at the Monster Factory, the MFPW. It's Taking Over the Future is the event that's going on tonight at the world-famous Monster Factory, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. He'll be down there wrestling, and I'll be down there doing the play-by-play commentary. So that was a nice, seamless plug. I didn't even have to read anything.
It was...
That's because I've also been their play-by-play commentator for almost 3 years now, so it's...
So...
Yeah, it's old. It's not quite old hat, but it's... it's pretty commonplace. Man, in 2 months it's going to be 8 years since that pipe bomb promo. I just realized that, like 2011. Where?
It is?
Yeah, where does the time go? Well, I mean, I've been hosting this for just over 10 years now, so there's a lot of time things that are just mind bleeps.
Time sure flies.
It does. It most certainly does. So, yeah, one thing that will certainly get things moving here as far as time is a look at the local scene, courtesy of our good friend Ed from Northeast Philly. Ed, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Good afternoon. You were talking about AEW?
Yes, All Elite Wrestling.
And they'll have their own convention down in Las Vegas.
Yeah, there's a whole... It's called StarCast 2. It's a litany of different podcasts and things of that nature. We've talked a little bit about it over the last couple of weeks. It's the weekend surrounding the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, and it sparked a little bit of controversy because initially advertised for it was The Undertaker, and then he signed that exclusive deal with WWE where they, I guess, made him an offer he couldn't refuse, and next thing you know, he had to pull out of the event.
Yeah, I think we got the better convention, the House of Hardcore convention. The
Icons of the Icons of Pro Wrestling Collector Fest, and that's coming up in a couple of weeks here in, or actually, about a month from now on June 8th, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's an all-day thing.
Yes, and Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore. That's always a big draw as well.
Along with Impact.
Yeah, I mean, hey, kudos to Impact for working some various promotions and kind of doing some cross-promoting things. It only does good for professional wrestling to have that much exposure across the way, and that's what's good about having all these different high-profile companies around. Is it's not just WWE and a bunch of gymnasiums and bingo halls anymore. Now, I mean, you see that Ring of Honor is up there. I mean, Impact is still making just that, an impact. You've got AEW coming into the fold. You've got New Japan Pro Wrestling, and a lot of these companies are kind of working deals with a lot of the upper tier independent promotions throughout the country to gain other exposure. I didn't even mention Lucha Underground. I mean, there's so much that's out there now. It's a great time to be a wrestler and involved in wrestling. It's just, I think people see a lot of doom and gloom because the mainstream, the Titan for so long, some people are thinking is starting to become the Titanic.
One name stood out was David Crockett. Was he the younger brother of Jim Crockett?
That I'm not too sure of off the top of my head here. I mean, I can certainly find out because, yeah, I forget the connection with that here. Yeah, I know that, yeah, Jim Crockett was involved with, the promotions back in the day. I'm trying to see if, I'll circle back to that.
Anyway, the Super Crazy Pro Wrestling tonight was at the Homestead Boys Club in Northeast Philly.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking about that for a little bit.
Yeah, New Jack, Breaker Morant, Fall Out Bar. It's on the card, and I said New Jack, right?
Yes.
KCW is next week too. May 18th. It's called Keystone Chaos. In Darby, Pennsylvania. Breaker Moran, Congo Kong, and Green Ant.
Very nice. And I'm taking a look here, and yes, David Crockett is the brother of Jim Crockett Jr., who was in charge of Jim Crockett Promotions that eventually became WCW back in the 80s.
And Tequila is this afternoon at 3 p.m. at the Wrestle Factory in Northeast Philly.
Oh, very nice.
I think they have a gauntlet match.
Yeah, gauntlets have become a pretty popular thing as of late. We just had the tag team turmoil a couple of weeks ago at the Monster Factory, and that was a very large tag team gauntlet match. 14 different teams were involved in it.
May 17th, they'll have an ECPW event in Long Valley, New Jersey. Alpha Jr., The Patriot, Snitsky, Tanaka, that Indian wrestler, Tatanka or whatever.
Tatanka?
I couldn't pronounce it fast enough.
Yeah, no worries. Yes, the Native American Tatanka from...
Dreamer and South Sincere, plus the FBI.
Oh, nice. A reunion of the FBI, the full-blooded Italians.
Yes. And you might need earplugs. Jillian Hall was just added for that show.
Oh, boy. Yeah, earplugs definitely a must on that one.
You've probably seen the national anthem.
I'll certainly see her. Another interesting David Crockett fact, he was one of the people aboard that plane crash that Ric Flair was involved in back in 1975. Yeah, the one that people had told Ric Flair, or the doctors told Ric Flair he'd never wrestle again, and he'd go on to have a Hall of Fame career and wrestle for the next quarter century. Yeah. Yeah, also Johnny Valentine and Tim Woods and Bob Bruggers were on that plane as well. But little interesting David Crockett fact, since you had me looking it up here.
Adventure Lane Stewart has an autograph signing next week, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. in Voorhees, or Blackwood, New Jersey. Blackwood, with Johnny Gargano.
Yes, I was informed of that. That's you said Adventureland?
Yes.
That's right. Yes. Oh goodness, it's Johnny Gargano and wasn't there another person what was her name? Sam from Mount Royal told me this, and now I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden because he lives down that way.
It was Candice
LeRae, that's right. Thank you. There's so much rattling through my head. It's why I'm definitely not like Vince.
I'm a genius.
Definitely not anywhere close to that.
And there was a fundraising show in Allentown at the end of the month. Something to do with SAMU. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. The SAMU is he's going through a little bit of some health issues, if I recall correctly, and so they're putting together a fundraiser show that I believe is even involving some WWE talent.
Yeah, Michael P.S. Hayes, Terry Reynolds, Gene Snitsky, Billy Kidman.
Yeah, it says here that WXWC4 and WWE have come together to, it's a SAMU NYE transplant fundraiser.
I hope he gets a good turnout for that.
I certainly hope so as well.
He gives 2 times. 2 to 4 and 4 to 6. I don't know if that's a convention and show.
I was going to say, off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I mean, I can see here, this is put together by Samu's son, Lance Anawai, who I've had the chance to work with and is super cool. But, yeah, former head shrinker Samu, he is suffering from stage 4 liver cancer.
That's not good.
Yeah, so they're doing a benefit. It's going to be on May 29th, which is his birthday, in conjunction with WWE. So there are going to be some WWE superstars who will be wrestling on the show to try to help raise I believe it's $25,000 that are needed as they put it here, due to the fact that, as we are all well aware, the pharmaceutical companies charge whatever they wish for medicine, and that's not working in their favor. So yeah, it looks like it's to cover some of the the chemotherapy medications. That's what they're doing the fundraiser for.
And 2 more things. There's Tangled Web from CZW tonight in Voorhees at the Sports Academy. Matt Tremont, DJ Hyde, and Masada on the card.
And it looks like John Silver defends the CZW championship against Tremont, it looks like.
And then we're also doing an outdoor show next month called Tournament of Death.
Oh, yeah, the Tournament of Death matches.
In the parking lot. I think they might do that in the parking lot.
That is definitely not for the squeamish.
Yes. And I'll have the complete lineup from the Icons next week. I think had my time limit.
Yeah, now we're just about up against it. You're good at keeping an eye on the time on these things. I guess from being a veteran caller, to say the least. All right, Ed. Well, thanks so much for chiming in, and we'll catch up with you next week. Appreciate the look at the local scene as always. And yeah, that's the Tournament of Death. That is, I was going to say, is that what I'm explaining during this break? Probably. No, it's pretty much just a lot of weapons in matches and lots of usually sharp, pointy things and a lot of blood and yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean everything from barbed wire, thumbtacks. Yeah,
that's.
Exactly. That is something that I'll have to I'll have to talk to Papa Mitch and see if we can get you out to that now. I'm kidding. Papa Mitch is probably what is he kidding me? No, I can't say that I have attended a Tournament of Death event for CZW. It's a bit much even for me too. So we're gonna circle things back here and take care of some more news, notes, and otherwise here, and including for those who probably are like me who seldom update your technology, you may want to if you want to keep the WWE Network around. We'll talk about that. Also, a little more about All Elite Wrestling, including an interesting concept, new twist on an old favorite that they're going to be doing at Double or Nothing. definitely an interesting gamble. We'll put it that way. All that and more here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Elena had another asthma attack. She's really sad to miss school again.
Asthma can be triggered by allergens from common pests.
I just can't shake this fever.
Mosquito bites can cause West Nile and Zika virus infections.
Sorry, boss. I'm going to be out of work for a while.
The CDC estimates that more than 300,000 Lyme disease cases spread by ticks occur in the U.S. each year. Don't let pests force you to take a sick day. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association and the CDC.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now's the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
If you're seeking safe, nurturing childcare, go to raiseyourstar.org. Simply type in your zip code to find the Early Learning Resource Center near you. We'll help you find a convenient, licensed childcare provider to keep your children safe and help them learn. We may even be able to help with your childcare costs. Let us help you raise your star. Find your local Early Learning Resource Center at raiseyourstar.org. Sponsored by the Office of Child Development and Early Learning.
Hi, this is Fred Fletcher of Fletcher's Garage, and I'm coming home to our original location at the corner of Hood and South Olds Boulevards in Fairless Hills. I'm also coming home to WBCB with our Under the Hood Automotive Show starting May 15th from 9:30 to 10 a.m. We'll take your calls and answer all your questions and have fun doing it. And I look forward to serving you at our original location starting June 1st.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, May 11th. On this date, 1997, WWF held its 15th In Your House pay-per-view titled A Cold Day in Hell. In the main event, The Undertaker pinned Steve Austin to retain the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 1998, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Kansas City, Missouri. In the main event, Randy Savage defeated Hulk Hogan by disqualification. On this date in 2008, TNA held its Sacrifice pay-per-view. In the main event, Samoa Joe defeated Kaz and Scott Steiner in a three-way dance to retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2015, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Cincinnati, Ohio. In the main event, Randy Orton defeated the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins by disqualification. This has been Today in Wrestling History, May 11th.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Dare here with you alongside Mitch.
Heyo.
Twitch, you can see him if you go to the Monster Factory later tonight because he never misses those shows.
Ooh.
Okay, I thought it was a little warm in here. The feeling the burn at the moment. Anyway, so little interesting tidbit to get into, courtesy. It seems like we keep circling back to Vince, but that's because this is something else that we're probably going to be hearing about 9 months from now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the XFL!
Yes, the XFL announcing multi-year television deals. Let's get through the first one, all right? Then we'll talk multi-year. But nonetheless, multi-year television deals this past Monday with Fox, ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, FS1, and FS2.
Wow.
Yeah, they're apparently putting all the XFL games up on there so you can't miss them. SportsBusinessDaily.com reporting, okay, maybe not all, but 24 of the 43 games of the league's first season will air on broadcast television, including, so that I guess they are doing all of the games, but 24 of them are going to be on networks as opposed to cable networks. So 13 of them will be on ABC and 11 of them will be on Fox. Yeah.
What? Wait on a sec, what?
24 out of the 43 games that are going to be airing next season, regular season and postseason and whatnot.
Okay.
24 of them are going to be on network television, either ABC or Fox.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you seemed confused by that.
I
I rewinded back to make sure, make sure you're along the ride with me here.
Had to just sort some stuff out, try to comprehend.
Fair enough. Yeah, ESPN and Fox hold the streaming rights, so that'll be for the interweb streaming things and whatnot. Now, interestingly enough, the networks are not paying a rights fee for the XFL games, but rather ESPN and Fox will pay for the production costs and sell advertisements around the game, but the XFL will handle sponsorships at the venue. Yeah.
Yeah.
You seem lost by that too? So basically, like, as far as advertising, sport ball thing. When you go to the stadium, you see all kinds of like advertising signs like everywhere, and
yes,
yeah. So the XFL is going to be handling that part of it, but in terms of like the TV presentation, ESPN and Fox, they're going to sell the commercials that the people see on TV, and also they'll handle the costs of producing and making the event go on TV.
Okay.
There we go. Now
everything.
There we go. Pump the brakes, and now we can go forward here.
All right.
Now, XFL Commissioner and CEO Oliver Luck stating, quote, "The only game that the Alliance had on broadcast was their opening game on CBS. One of the lessons we took away was that they had a pretty good rating. It shows that Americans still want to watch football the week after the Super Bowl." Well, maybe. I guess what they're figuring is if you put it on network, they will come.
I mean,
but we'll see. I mean, they had it on NBC back in 2001, and it lasted one season. The XFL did. I mean, Alliance, to their credit, the Alliance of American Football didn't even make it a full season. It lasted 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
So
that was.
There's a lot to stretch at with that. Another news, former WWE wrestler Jake Hager, you might remember him as Jack Swagger, he'll have his second professional mixed martial arts fight tonight. Hager, who's 1-0, will face TJ Jones, who has a 1-1 professional record at Bellator 221 in Rosemont, Illinois at the Allstate Arena. Very familiar to WWE fans. The event will be broadcast exclusively on the DAZN streaming service. Hager defeated J.W. Kaiser in his first professional fight back in January 26th of this year. Jones won his last fight via submission. It's been a little bit of a layoff. It was back in October of 2017. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And I'll save that story for when Ted's in the room, because he'll definitely get a chuckle at that. Baseball related. Ted and I love the baseball. But this is something, it's a game of a different sort. All Elite Wrestling announcing that the over-the-budget Battle Royal, that's what they referred to it as in All In, the over-the-top rope Battle Royal. They called it over-the-budget because what they did was they had it air before the pay-per-view, so because they were over-budget, they couldn't get all those wrestlers to appear on the pay-per-view because they were over the budget.
Yeah.
Clever.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, they're keeping the cleverness and the cuteness because it's being replaced in this Double or Nothing pay-per-view by the Casino Royale.
Casino Royale.
Yeah, Casino Battle Royale. Yeah.
Well, Battle Royale, but
exactly, the Casino Royale. Now, it's a cute twist for that Double or Nothing pay-per-view in Las Vegas, because that's the whole purpose. Because it's in Las Vegas, they're trying to keep it local.
Trying to keep it local.
That's what they do. So, as opposed to the Royal Rumble, where you have two wrestlers start, and then every 90 seconds another wrestler comes out into the fray. They're going to keep it a little bit shorter and a little bit more interesting, as the match will start with 5 entrants in the ring. Every 3 minutes, a new wave of 5 men enter. So then after the 9-minute mark, you'll have the lucky 21st entrant to be the final person in the Battle Royal. Because 21 blackjack, yeah. So that's it's a 21-man battle royal, and it's going to be 5, then another 5, then another 5, then another 5, and then the 21st and final person. So they'll have that advantage of even the last group of people already having fought for 3 minutes. And in a battle royal, it's one of the most dangerous matches in history, or in wrestling, just because there's so many arms and legs flying everywhere. You constantly have to have eyes in the back of your head.
It's just chaos.
It most certainly is. So it's clever. It's like a little take on the Royal Rumble, just a little bit quicker. Only 21 people as opposed to 30, and the lucky 21st person entrant. It's got a nice gambling theme to it. I'm okay with it.
Wait, hold on a sec. Why does Casino Royale sound like a James Bond movie or something?
It was part of the James Bond vernacular, I believe. I don't think. Yeah, it was a film. I think there was an unofficial one back in the '60s, and then they did it proper, like 6-7 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, actually, I think around that.
Something like that. I know most of my Bond memories come from the Pierce Brosnan years. Well, GoldenEye 007 was big with the video gaming community, Nintendo 64. That was one of their top sellers. But now that we've gone on a Bond tangent here, WWE has announced that Bridgeport, Connecticut's Webster Bank Arena will be the host venue for the 25th NXT TakeOver special that'll be held on Saturday, June 1st. Now, the original plan was for NXT TakeOver to be held on June 8th in San Jose, California, but that changed when the company announced its return to Saudi Arabia for what I've been calling the Saudi shoehorn on June 7th. That's right, you missed that last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're sneaking one in on Friday, June 7th, another making a ton of money event. And, the capacity for the Webster Bank Arena is listed as 10,000 people. Here's a nice, fun little story. So, retired professional wrestler Matt Morgan was unanimously voted the new mayor of Longwood, Florida on Monday night.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, so now Kane isn't the only wrestler turned mayor.
Huh. Wait, there were two?
Well, yeah, Kane and now Matt Morgan.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, Kane is the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee.
That's actually pretty interesting.
It is. There was a hilarious video that was shown when he was giving a speech up on stage, and a production hand was trying to tell him to wrap it up, basically. And he ended up having his Kane mask underneath like the podium, so he pulled that out, and the music hit for Kane's theme. The lights all kind of went to a red color, and next thing you know, he went, and it was obviously put together ahead of time, but he ended up taking this production hand and choke slamming him through a table.
Huh.
Yeah, it was a funny little bit.
That seems funny.
Oh, it was. It was very entertaining, and the crowd loved it. So, yes, Morgan on the victory, he said, "The first thing I did was flashback to grammar school riding the special education bus and being made fun of. It always made me feel lesser than others, but now it has come full circle. I really believe if you are willing to put in the work, you are able to punch your own ticket and do whatever you want to do with your life one day." So congrats to Morgan on that. And now that Ted's in the room, he is going to appreciate this. And I should have pulled up the video, although it's radio, so people won't be able to see it. But I'm sure you can look it up online. Former Impact Wrestling manager and wrestler Johnny Fairplay. He was also on Survivor back in the day as well. He threw out the first pitch at the Richmond Flying Squirrels minor league baseball game on Sunday. One could argue it was among the top worst celebrity first pitches, right up there with Carly Rae Jepsen, former President Obama, and former Cincinnati Mayor Mark Mallory, who uncorked a pitch so wide that it hit one of the umpires, who immediately ejected the politician. But back to Fairplay, he'll be returning to the Squirrels on July 9th for their Celebrity Home Run Derby. It was just he held onto the ball too long, and it almost looked like he was spiking a football. It just went right down to the ground, maybe about 10 feet in front of him. It was not pretty, and
you don't want to do that.
No, you definitely do not want to do that. As you at least want to get it kind of somewhere close to the plate if you're ever going to throw out a first pitch.
5 feet away, you stand 5 feet.
Yeah,
away.
if you have to stand 5 feet away, you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to either spike it down the ground as a lot of people have done, or there have also been some wild ones uncorked. I saw a thing where Nolan Ryan threw out the first pitch at a game well after his career was over. So this was maybe like a few years ago, and he uncorked a wild one off to the high and to the right.
It's a heyday to his early years.
Yeah, exactly. I wish he came up with that because that would have been brilliant way to cover that. Another news here, Rhino, former longtime WWE and ECW wrestler, he announced during an interview with Chris Van Vliet that he intends to leave WWE once his contract expires on July 17th, saying that they offered him more than twice his downside guarantee, but it wasn't where they would have to use him because the downside is so large, and it wasn't about money. It was about him wanting to be on the road working, helping the younger guys kind of as a player coach. Like wrestling a little bit, but also coaching the younger guys because Rhino's well into his 40s at this point.
He is?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, because he wrestled for ECW back in the mid to late 90s.
Never knew that.
Yeah. He's been around a little bit. He had a run with the tag titles with Heath Slater. He's got kids. And it was I mean, he's transitioning into another role of his life, but he was also asked if WWE is offering bigger money deals because they're scared of All Elite Wrestling scooping up various talents, and his response was, I don't know if they're scared or concerned. He also spoke about the various companies running the United States creating a shallower pool of talent. So now there's so many different organizations that it's almost like how you have too many teams in a particular sport, and the talent level of those players tends to not be as good because you have to fill so many rosters around the way. A little poignant observation.
Yep.
All right. Also, let's see here. There's so much to get into. All Elite Wrestling also announcing the hiring of Jerry Lynn as a coach. Jerry Lynn, another ECW wrestler and a longtime guy who's in his early 50s at this point. And apparently there is a deal for television that's expected to be announced this week for AEW with Turner Broadcasting. They're apparently expected to air the weekly AEW television show starting in the fall on TNT.
Huh.
Yeah, so TNT, the former home of WCW Monday Nitro. Yep. So I don't know. What might old become new again? We will have to find out. And one other thing, if you're like me and seldom update your technology, you may be unable to watch the WWE Network coming soon. WWE issued an email warning to fans that WWE Network will not be available on several platforms beginning May 21st. They said, our goal is to always provide you with the best possible viewing experience on WWE Network. Unfortunately, several device manufacturers have stopped updating the operating system of older products, which may impact your ability to stream high-quality video. So they gave a list of various devices that will no longer carry the WWE Network app starting May 21st. And it mentioned Amazon Fire tablets, Apple TV 3rd generation and earlier models. LG 2016 and earlier models, Samsung 2016 and earlier models, Sony non-Android TVs, Windows 10 desktop, as well as PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
Huh.
Yeah, so after May 21st, you'll still be able to see Money in the Bank coming up on May 19th, but after that, nope, gotta get that upgrade. Whoa. And we are rapidly running out of time, so it is time for
birthdays.
Right on cue. You missed it last week. He was like, wait, there was silence, and then Lucas went, oh wait, he's not here. Birthdays! Yes, in your face. Yeah, he was a jerk. All right, 3 plus 2 Brucey bonuses. On this date in 1961, Thomas Borick was born, the former AWA and WWF wrestler known as Kato of the Orient Express. Max Moon, as well as Paul Diamond of Bad Company, turns 58 today. On this date in 1974, Peter Allen Gruner Jr. was born, the former 3-time WCW Cruiserweight Champion and 4-time WWE Cruiserweight Champion and current WWE producer better known as Billy Kidman turns 45 today. And on this date in 1977, Robert Francis Roode Jr. was born, former 2-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion and current WWE Superstar, former WWE United States Champion known simply as Robert Roode turns 42 today. Now to the Brucey bonuses. Man, I had to stretch for these two outside of the world of wrestling. On this date in 1934, Arthur Sackville Labatt was born. The Canadian businessman and great-grandson of John K. Labatt, founder of the well-known Labatt Brewery, turns 85 today. It's for my friends north of the border, eh? And on this date in 1988, Jeremy Maclin was born, the recently retired NFL wide receiver. I did not know that. He retired like 2 months ago, who was drafted in the first round by the Philadelphia Eagles back in, I believe it was 2009. He turns 31 today. Wow. Yeah, 31 and already hanging him up. And that's going to do it for us. We're going to hang it up here on this show, but stay tuned. Ted Efaw's got the full Country Road show, including the Memory Spotlight with the Judds. Should be a goodie. Play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock and all's well.